right, this is more like I have never seen this before. And it's starting to freak me out a little bit because I have never, at this time of night, seen everything this full. Like, and there's nobody here stocking anything. There's nobody here. There's a couple people, but that's about it. Like, everything is just filled to the max, which is unreal. Let me know. Something's going on.
Today we are going to be covering the government shutdown, or as the Democrats like to call it, the Trump shutdown. You see this? You see this? When EBT pauses, the shelves magically stay full at midnight. Now, that's not the economy getting better. That's proofs incentives are upside down. We pump money into the system, prices climbed, and when the money stops, prices don't. Corporations keep the sticker. Families are eating the squeeze. Now, I want you to watch how DC calls tantrums compromise. Good old J.D. Vance.
Now, here is our very simple proposal to the Democrats. Let's sit down and come to a compromise and work it out. And you know what the Democrats' response to that is? Give us everything we want, or we're going to shut down the government and keep it shut down. That is not reasonable behavior. That's not how you do compromise in this town. That is the way that the Democrats have operated. They are trying to take a hostage, and we can't reward that behavior. If we do that, if we say, yes, of course, we'll give you everything that you want if you reopen the government, you know what's going to happen? In 3 months, they're going to come back to the administration, and they're again going to say, we're going to shut down the aviation industry. We're going to deny people SNAP benefits unless you give us exactly what you want. That's how a child behaves. Now, here is our very simple proposal.
Exactly how a child behaves. But that's the game. Democrats demand the whole pie. Scream, shut down, if you don't get it. Then blame the other side for the crumbs. Adults negotiate. Children take hostages. And yes, hostages are your paychecks, your flights, your groceries, your SNAP. So who fixes it? Incentives? Here's a real one.
Like you, Mr. President, I've heard a lot of rumors about we're that close to reaching an agreement. We've been that close for a week. Frankly, I hope I'm wrong in saying this, but I don't think we're really that close. I wish we were, and I hope we are. But I think we're going to be in the shutdown a while longer. That doesn't give me any joy to say that. In the meantime, none of our staffs are being paid. No federal employees are being paid. I got some numbers in this morning that federal workers have had to borrow $365 million so far during this 36-day shutdown in order just to pay their rent. Our military is only being paid partially. Our air traffic controllers are not being paid. People who receive SNAP payments are only being partially paid. I don't think anybody wants to see anybody go hungry in America. And that's not a partisan statement. I think that's a bipartisan statement. There's precedent for this, Mr. President. Some may say, well, this violates the 27th Amendment. I don't think it does. That's why I'm offering two different flavors of bills. But in 2013, President Obama did the same thing that I'm doing now. They were in a shutdown, and President Obama supported legislation that said, if you don't open up government by this certain date, then you're going to lose your paychecks. And guess what? Members of Congress had an epiphany, and they found religion. They had a Damascene moment, and they opened up government. And that's all this bill will do. I'm not trying to grandstand. I wasn't going to bring this bill. When I got back here Monday, I heard all the rumors like everybody else that we were close. And I hope we are close, but we're not close enough. And so I'll offer these bills tomorrow, and people can vote yay or they can vote nay. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Somebody said this man is the voice of reason, need more like him. Loving this guy more and more every day. That was the comment written right below it. No budget, no paycheck for Congress. Beautiful. Make the pain land where the power lives. You'd be amazed how fast the lights come back on when their direct deposit doesn't deposit. We tried pretty please. We're going to try consequences. And the fight isn't just fund the government. It's where the money goes.
Taking to Truth Social earlier this morning, writing, quote, I am recommending to Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies in order to save the bad health care provided by Obamacare be sent directly to the people so that they can purchase their own much better health care and have money left over. In other words, take from the big bad insurance companies, give it to the people, and terminate per dollar spent the worst health care anywhere in the world, Obamacare. Unrelated, we must still terminate the filibuster. Here to react, Oklahoma Senator and GOP Conference Vice Chair James Lankford. Senator, thanks for being here. Let me just get your reaction to what President Trump is really putting out on Truth Social.
Yeah, it's one of the key reasons that we have continued to be able to push back on what Chuck Schumer is trying to be able to peddle. He's saying, hey, let's just do a one-year extension of these Obamacare subsidies. And the general media gets out there and says, that sounds so reasonable. But what they're really saying is send $40 billion straight to insurance companies that some of them have had between 500 and 1,000% increase in their stock just since the time of Obamacare. So they're saying send all this money to insurance companies and it'll be fine. What the Democrats are not saying is it's pumping money to insurance companies, not to people to be able to help. It's only for about 20 million people, the select group that they have picked. It's not the general population line. Most people's insurance rates are going to continue to go up. Democrats are only trying to subsidize a certain group of folks. It's also funding directly towards abortion. And Democrats won't say this. This was their end around to be able to fund elective abortions by sending money to insurance company, then allowing the insurance to be able to cover abortions as well. So the dutiful media just continues to be able to say this sounds so reasonable from Chuck Schumer, but the facts belie that.
Well, so to be fair, we'll let you hear a little bit of, let our viewers hear a little bit of what Chuck Schumer says he's offering. Listen to this, Senator.
Democrats are ready to clear the way to quickly pass a government funding bill that includes health care affordability. Leader Thune just needs to add a clean one-year extension of the ACA tax credits to the CR so that we can immediately address rising health care costs. The ball is in the Republicans' court. We need Republicans to just say yes.
But, Senator, you say no thanks.
Yeah, I say absolutely no thanks. His statement of just Republicans come vote with us, fund abortion from federal tax dollars, send billions of dollars to insurance companies, to just a select group of people, not to help everyone in America, send money to people making up to $500,000 a year. That's what their subsidies for. And also folks on the lower end of it where they're doing zero premiums there. We've actually found there's a tremendous amount of fraud where insurance companies are signing up people that don't even know they have the coverage. So Democrats are saying, let's just keep that rolling. That's working good for us. Let's just keep that rolling. I think the American taxpayer is saying, nope, that's not what we're looking for.
And Senator, just in the last few seconds I do want to get your take on where you stand. Would you support breaking the filibuster, even if in a narrow appropriations lane, to open the government back up?
Yeah, I don't support breaking the filibuster because I've seen up close and personal what Joe Biden would do. If Donald Trump was president from here on out, that wouldn't be an issue, but it's not going to be forever. I don't know who's the president 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Once you break it, you break it, and I know what Joe Biden would have done with that.
Senator James Lankford, thank you for taking time and giving us your insight.
You bet. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Send billions to the middleman first and call it affordability. And if help goes to companies before it reaches families always finish last. We could route support directly to people and let them shop for real plans. Instead, we inflate the middle. Then wonder why premiums don't come down. And we've heard the fairy tales before. Let's just roll the tape.
It will actually reduce the deficit by $4 trillion over the long term. Reducing the waste and inefficiency in Medicare and Medicaid will pay for most of this plan. It will slow the growth of healthcare costs for our families, our businesses, and our government. There will be a provision in this plan that requires us to come forward with more spending cuts if the savings we promised don't materialize.
Now, if you like your spend, you can keep your spend. Costs didn't show. Deficits didn't shrink. Networks narrowed. And every time reality hits, DC sells a new slogan and sends the bill to you. Follow the money to the checkout aisle. Watch how policy turns into pricing.
So all of a sudden, Walmart's dropping prices after SNAP benefits get cut off? Not exactly, but let me break it down so you understand how it really works. And remember this, subsidies always lead to inflation. See, Walmart pulls in about $25 billion a year from SNAP. That's a guaranteed government paycheck. And when Biden exploded SNAP by 6%, Walmart turned around and raised prices 25% or more, blaming inflation. But it was really manipulation because when the government hands out more money, of course demand's going to go up. It's basic economics. So now SNAP's paused. You'd think prices would drop, right? Not so fast, because instead of cutting prices, Walmart is cutting inventory to keep the inflated prices stable. When we all know that the demand was never real in the first place. So tell me again, how does it make sense to fund a program where 70% of the money doesn't even go to Americans and at the same time drives up prices on everyone? That's the government transferring your taxes to big corporations who then charge you higher prices. And that's the way it works.
It's basic. Flood demand with subsidy, hike prices. Then when subsidy pauses, drop prices. Oh, no, for them, it's not that simple. Don't drop prices in their case. Just cut inventory and hope the new normal. That's not inflation you can't control. That's leverage you choose to keep. Meanwhile, real people hit delays, and the message gets messy.
Let me give you some facts about these SNAP benefits, because it's time to say the quiet part out loud. It's called the Single Issue Funding Bill. Please listen. I just want to give you some facts based in constitutional law. President Trump is not in charge of funding food stamps, and President Trump is not responsible for cutting food stamps. There is a law called the Anti-Deficiency Act, and this prevents the president from funding USDA or SNAP benefits beyond November 1st. This can be as simple as the House Democrats sending over a single issue funding bill. Let me say this one more time for the people in the back. Single issue funding bill. That's it, that's all. The Democrats can submit one single funding bill. The Republicans have submitted a bill 12 times to have SNAP benefits continued. Democrats shot it down every single time. The Democrats are playing in your face, and they're playing with your emotions and trying to make this about President Trump, and it has nothing to do with him. Single issue funding bill.
Yep. Correct target. Stop yelling at the cashier, and start looking at the Capitol. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to make sure I set this next video properly. My bad. I shouldn't be multitasking while I'm over here doing this. Well, like I said, stop yelling at the cashier. Accountability means pass a budget on time. Stop padding the middleman and fix eligibility and fraud without punishing the folks who need help to feed kids. Wow, what am I talking about? And when we talk optics, don't hand the other side the clip. Watch.
Are running really low on our refrigerator trying to keep up with food. They have 6 kids. Groceries for 8 people in one house get expensive fast. If they had not come in, we were already struggling. We were sitting around dipping into some Christmas money, some bill money, trying to keep food in the house just to keep the kids fed, because we are a big family. Are running really low on our refrigerator trying to keep up with food.
Now, I'm not here to clown a family, but optics matter, right? You say we're starving, A mountain of cola is the worst ad in the world. If you say you're starving, we need nutrition standards that help families win long term. Protein first, real food first. That's mercy that works. Now let's go back to the first clip, back to the store one more time, because the aisle tells the truth.
All right, this is more like I have never seen this before. And it's starting to freak me out a little bit because I have never, at this time of night, seen everything this full. Like, and there's nobody here stocking anything. There's nobody here. There's a couple people, but that's about it. Like, everything is just filled to the max, which is unreal. Let me know. Something's going on.
Full shelves, empty cents. When policy feeds middleman before it feeds people, you get theater, not solutions, unfortunately. You know what this shutdown is really showing? That America isn't broke. It's broken on purpose. They'll tell you the system's complicated. No, the system's convenient for them. Because the same people who preach empathy during elections cash checks during recessions. Same folks who we're all in this together are the one who keep the lifeboats half full. So here's the truth. No press release would ever say out loud. If Congress felt hunger the way families do, they wouldn't allow benefits for families who actually deserve it to be paused before breakfast. And if accountability actually meant consequences, the shutdown would have been over before it started. I always tell y'all, we don't need new slogans from these politicians. We need new standards. No budget, no pay, no results, no reelection, no honesty, no little microphone. As you guys say, y'all say y'all like the new microphone, by the way. I'll be saying that in the comments a lot. Also about the do-rags. I'm over here looking up retailers. Give me a second. But in all seriousness, man, America doesn't need another politician with a plan. It needs a backbone and a calculator. And if you're still watching right now, you're a part of that backbone. So don't just shut a clip, shut a mindset, because this isn't about left or right anymore. It's about right or wrong. And history always remembers who stood up when everyone else was sitting down. So if you made it to the end of the video, I want you to say, we're standing up. I'm actually standing up too. Back update. I mean, I'm mobile. I'm playing my video game. I started doing that because I can't do anything else besides this and lay in my bed. I want to go out so bad. Man. But y'all be safe. Go check on a friend today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.